Hey everybody, this is Janice Wright from the Garrison Public Affairs Office.
And this is Darren Sinattle with the Garrison Public Affairs Office.
And we are talking everything about Safety Day. All that and more on this week's episode of the Great Big Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, and we're sitting here with some officials from our safety directorates. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Hello, I'm Doug Huddleston. I'm the director of Garrison's Safety Office at Fort Cavazos.
And I'm Mike Hampton. I'm Director of Safety for 3rd Armored Corps here at Fort Cavazos.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. So, this year's Safety Day event is fast approaching. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the importance of the event?
This event is very important in quite a bit of ways. This event first kicked off back in 2014. At the very start, it was identified that we needed to try to get ahead of some of the issues and things that were going on. Some of those were Army motor vehicle or privately owned vehicle related incidents, of course, motorcycles. And the first event was kind of geared toward bringing everything home as far as the safety component, if you will. Mm-hmm. In 2023, we actually had, due to some issues with statistic-wise safety metrics, some of the things were trending, the way they were trending upward. Felt it was time again to bring back Safety Awareness Day. So in 2023, we did brought that back, and again trying to get after some of these these incidents, such as vehicle mishaps,
right.
Either Army or private,
right.
Related, motorcycle related. But in 2023, we added quite a bit of venue items to be more inclusive of more of the safety hazards that we were seeing both across 3 Corps and Garrison. So the importance of the event has been made clear due to the fact that in 2014, the event was able to, we were able to see a reduction in those accident and mishap statistics.
That's the goal. So.
Again, in 2023, we were kind of seeing the same thing across Corps and Garrison. So lo and behold, we wanted to go ahead and agree to do it in 2024. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of history on it, the importance of it. Leadership is a key element with these events. I know my Garrison commander, Colonel Lakeisha Stokes, has been very instrumental in providing the opportunities and the wherewithal to be able to do these events this year. Mm-hmm. So a big shout out to our leadership there for that. And evidently, if we're doing these things, if we help one person out there, one soldier, one family member, one Department of Army civilian, we're going to be able to make a difference. And I think that's why we're really doing it.
Okay. Mr. Hampton, can you speak to the collaboration with the Garrison leadership?
Yes, I will say, first of all, thanks for having us. We are truly excited about this second annual event. I know
As are we.
General Bonabi and Command Sergeant Major McDwyer have a clear vision and understanding of safety within itself. The safety's champion being General Felty also has a clear focus in his efforts to champion this, along with, of course, the Chief of Staff, which is Colonel Chad Foster, and the DCOS, Colonel Stephen Tabbitt. All of them, of course, which have a vision of the mission itself. They understand that safety within itself is about force protection. So we as advisors also understand and work together with leaders, and we always say that we protect the force so that they can project the force. And of course, that's their mission. Our mission is to project forces anywhere around the world at any given moment. So the command is definitely involved, and my hat's off to Doug's team especially Miss Erica Payne, who has been leading this and this effort. And it is an exciting time for us. During this time, we'll also have a three Armor Corps Safety Awareness Week, and also the Senior Safety Seminar. Well, we're actually bringing in outside safety professionals throughout the Corps so that they can experience this. Plus, we will take them through some leadership mentoring, some training there, in which we do an effort, all aspects of safety and mitigate hazards.
Right. I think sometimes there's a misconception that since we're on an installation that everything is safe, but even here, accidents do happen. So that just kind of underscores the importance of the event. And I have covered the event. I covered it last year, and it was great. Lieutenant General Bernabe spoke greatly about reducing the incidence of motorcycle accidents, vehicle accidents. Tell me a little bit about some of the events that will occur at the event this year.
Right. So we have quite a broad spectrum of venues. We have over 50 informational booths. We have over 25 exhibits. So as I mentioned earlier, and as Mike alluded to, getting this information in front of soldiers, families, and DA civilians, retirees.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it requires some visual. So we picked up on some of these things, such as, we bring in electrical safety training, arc flash training, both for our soldiers and for our Department of Army civilians. But we also cover a broad things of family-related, assistance programs, family assistance. We actually have, for the second year, bringing back Army Community Service, going to be looking at child car safety seats.
That was very helpful last year.
Very helpful. So on the soldier side, we have some systemic issues with privately owned weapons and safety. So we're going to be looking. We're going to have an instructor. He actually works with our Better Opportunity for Single Soldiers.
The BOSS program.
Family, yes, ma'am. So good things there, all the way down to the Department of Public Works technician that turns a wrench. They're going to be, looking at equipment safety, fall protection for workers that are repairing these buildings. So as well as we talked about vehicular safety, we actually have a Texas Department of Transportation rollover device. It's a seatbelt condenser, and we have a state trooper who's going to be on site talking about vehicular and highway safety.
Okay.
So we do have also bringing in some classic cars, some custom cars, and a Jeep club. To include motorcycle club. So the attendees are going to have something good to look at.
Right.
We couple that with our DES, our MPs going around talking about vehicular safety. We also have our our Army traffic safety folks who do motorcycle instruction for the basic and advanced course. They're going to be out there. When the soldiers and folks are looking at the motorcycles, they're going to be talking about rider safety. We actually have one or two clubs that are veteran riding clubs. So I know it's been a big component with 3 Corps. They've been organizing and getting ready for a motorcycle ride. And any of these things that we can do to get in front of some of these issues we're having. And unfortunately, some of them are fatality related, some are really severe incidents.
Right.
So anything we can do there. So I tell you, it's just a broad venue. A lot of things are going to be out there. I don't want to leave anything out, but that's a pretty good snapshot.
And if I may, I would say that one thing that I like about it is that it's interactive and informative.
I was going to say that, it's important that you present all of this information in a way that resonates with the soldiers and in a way that they can enjoy it.
I mean, bottom line, America has given us their sons and daughters and asked that we as leaders teach, coach, and mentor them.
Absolutely.
But also keep them safe, bring them back home. And that's the focus of the command. I mean, we understand that we have a mission. We understand that we have a hard mission to do. But we also understand there's a time and a place for and an opportunity to ratchet back, decompress, take a time, focus on safety, and then re-engage into our mission set.
Right.
As Doug had stated earlier, when we first had this over a decade ago, we were spiraling out of control with serious accidents here on Fort Cavazos, then Fort Hood. Right after we had that, a year after, we had a 32% reduction in serious accidents. And it's telling us last year as well, as we're looking at the stats, that also we're having a reduction in accidents. Normally our leading cause of fatalities is PMVs, whether PMV2, which is a motorcycle, PMV4, which is a vehicle, a car. We average about 5 to 6 every year from Fort Cavazos, whether it actually happened here locally or not, as long as the soldier is assigned to us. So it's important that that whether they're out on leave or anything else, that we're focused and we pay attention to what we're doing.
Okay.
Not only are we focusing on soldiers, though, we're also focusing on their families.
Absolutely.
We have to know that there's a transition piece, where we do things in the military. However, we do some of the same things on the outside. So we drive cars every day. We walk across the streets every day. Things are hazardous. We cut the lawn. We weed eat. Everyday activities can be hazardous and dangerous to us.
Absolutely.
So because of these lessons learned during these events such as this, we can take them back home with us and teach our kids, the right way and the wrong way and the safe way to do things to make sure that they're safe and they grow up, secure in their lives.
Okay. So we spoke about the support and the collaboration with Garrison leadership. What about the collaboration with all of the directorates and organizations that are working together to make this a successful and effective event?
Right. So we have quite a support network, and our garrison is probably one of the largest garrisons in CONUS or the United States.
Right.
So we have engaged just about everyone and I'll have to tell you, people have stepped up. Our directorates, including CORE, have stepped up to provide support for this. It shows in, as I mentioned, Army Community Services. We're going to actually, they're providing a couple of venues. One of them's pedal carts and a DUI, or driving under the influence, simulator.
Yes,
So
that's one of the more fun and interactive.
This is a heavy lift
yes.
item for them, so we will be assisting with that. But that gives, so it's giving an example that would give a soldier the ability to be able to get in this pedal cart. It's a full up kind of a go-kart thing, but you just pedal it and put on the simulation goggles and experience. When they experience what they go through, they have the disorientation that they go through, it kind of gives them a better feel. Then we funnel them over to our Army Community Services for some more information on their family. So, I mean, the list is exhaustive. And I will have to also say we couldn't really do this without the vendors.
Absolutely.
Supporting. So we have Stanley Tools, coming. We have Milwaukee Tools. We have several vendors that are coming. They supply, they do safety and health, occupational safety and health equipment, supplies, fall protection. So, and beyond that, the people that facilitate us doing it, our MWR, of course, steps up every time they offer the space.
They do.
There's many events that occur here on post, but they kind of set a priority on that one, and they give us the space. And I tell you, without their support, it wouldn't be as successful, I don't think. So.
I also think that the support from the local community is outstanding. I mean, we reach out and we try to tap into all these agencies. And ever since we've been doing this, I have not had a single agency says, no, we cannot do it. They are willing to come here, willing to support the effort, because they understand the importance and what soldiers and their families mean to our country and definitely to our community. So we'd like to also thank, the city leaders within the neighboring communities, I call it the Tri-City area, Coppers Cove, Harker Heights, and Killeen itself. But we also have Temple and Belton and Salado and all these others. All of them reaching out. We have individuals coming all the way from Austin to help participate in this event. So the community, Central Texas community, sees it important, and we appreciate them efforting it and coming out and supporting our soldiers.
Right. So the overarching theme for the event is safety in several different aspects. But we as individuals have a responsibility to, have in place safety guidelines and things that we do. So how important is it for us to become accountable and responsible for the things we do and as far as being safe?
Right. So we have, it's kind of a slogan we have in Garrison, become a safety ambassador. Mm-hmm. So we spend a lot of times, we have a program, it's Army Safety and Health, Occupational Health Management System that we're going through phases right now and implementing that. So it's owning safety, each directorate, each person down to the individual level. It's leadership driven. That's why I mentioned our Garrison commander. She's a real champion for that. So, but it's taking responsibility for your own safety. But how do you do that?
Right.
You get training, you get education. Some of these things that we put on, like the Safety Awareness Day, is a good eye-opener to open up your mind to questions. Mm-hmm. So we may be talking about it in Garrison, but, it may not be talked about somewhere else.
Right.
So we're sharing knowledge, and we're bringing people into this.
Spreading the word.
Spreading the word, if you will. So, yes.
I always give, a little anecdote or because everyone, can connect with certain things.
Absolutely.
And so, like, if I'm teaching a block of instruction, I always said, okay, well, most of the individuals here have children. I said, well, how many of you would let your children just run across the street? And all, no, we're not going to let them run across the street. Well, why not? Because they'll get hit by a car. You just identified a hazard. But how did you learn that? And then you have to teach them that. Right. So once you learn something, then you teach it. Therefore, it spider webs out, and then everyone has a working knowledge of it, and we don't create the same mistakes. Because bottom line here, a lot of things that we put in place for safety was written in blood. Mm-hmm. We had lost soldiers, or we had lost civilians, or we had lost somebody else in reference to that. But then we put something in place. So this is our effort to be proactive.
Instead of reactive.
We understand that, yes, we're having accidents. However, we can prevent these accidents. Most of the accidents that we have, unless they're material failure or weather related, are preventable, absolutely preventable. We just have to put the things in place and have individuals think about what they're doing prior to executing whatever they're going to execute.
Okay. So we have a plethora of resources, organizations, vendor booths, interactive services, interactive activities. What else do we have going on at the event?
Right. So we have a lot of informal training going on because here's the goal. Okay. When I mentioned our motorcycle instructors or our motorcycle riding club, it's a area that we need to focus on. While they're looking, they're talking and they're learning about, there is a motorcycle club I can join that's veteran related.
Right.
Okay.
I've seen the increase
in
the amount of soldiers riding, bikes.
It's it's putting that word in their ear. It's cool to be safe. Okay. It's a good thing to be able to learn about these things. On the other side, we have the authority figures, the state trooper, who can speak to some of the things that he or she has seen while they're out there and really hit home. You may have some that are interested in becoming a law enforcement person. Maybe they're departing the military. We see a lot of crosstalk. That's what we want, okay? Right. We want the word to get out. So that's just one aspect of it.
Okay, and also, I was asked the question, why do we do it in May? And I will tell you, looking at our empirical data, we have most of our accidents during this time of the year. And why is that? Because the season is changing.
Right. I was going to say, why do you think that it happens during that time? It's because it's getting warm and people are getting out more.
Outdoor activities, which is why at this event we have boating safety. We have swimming safety. We have, of course, motorcycle safety and POV safety. But it's important because this is when we have an increase in serious accidents. Right. And it's just because more individuals are getting out of the house now and they're participating in outside activities. to include barbecue, so that, so we can have incidents with barbecues catching on fire and other
Absolutely.
things like that. So that's why we actually try to do it in May. One of the things that's near and dear to my heart that Doug failed to mention was food. We're definitely gonna have some food out there. So
What better way to get all this information out than draw people in with the food?
So lessons learned from last year is that we had 3 or 4 food trucks out there. But those food trucks ran out of food in probably 30 minutes to an hour.
So that lets you know you better get there fast.
So,
Don't wait.
but if I'm not mistaken, we will have more than 3 or 4 food trucks out there this time.
Right, we're gonna have about 10.
Yeah, I still wouldn't chance it. I still wouldn't chance it because those lines can get kind of long also.
They can get long.
They
Yes.
did. And I will tell you that it was a really good time.
It was.
I really enjoyed the classic cars that were out there. And of course, we had a Corvette club that was out there. Seeing all those cars, and you just saw the enthusiasm, because these cars came out of Austin, of the owners of those cars, and their pride in presenting them. And
Right.
soldiers were just looking at it in awe. They even had a Bentley out there, so it was really nice that they were able to come up and showcase those for us.
I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I watched some of the displays, or like when the firemen did the car, and they were
Jaws of Life.
Jaws of
Yeah.
Life. Yes, it was really educational. You don't know what goes into it until you get to see it for yourself. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
I know exactly what you mean, because honestly, when they had the electrical demonstration, I watched that, and they have a stuffed animal, like it's a I don't know, a raccoon or
Right.
maybe a squirrel, and how it can get caught up in those blocks, and boom, and it trips that real quick, and you have this it's a pop explosion or whatever.
It's kind of nerve wracking.
Yes, but one thing I didn't realize at the time was that how current travels through trees. Because I've cut a tree before that was leaning against a power line, and I didn't thinking about. Now I know better. Do not cut a tree that's
Right.
leaning against a power line.
Something you didn't know. And I always enjoy the military dog display, like just seeing how trained they are and how disciplined they are. I really enjoyed that. I really did. So who is able to attend the event?
So it's open to just about everyone, our active duty, our soldiers, their
Okay.
families, retirees, our Department of Army civilians, people that support the Army. So it's open pretty much to everyone, that would like to attend.
Okay, and just, for everybody listening, what time and where?
Right, so it's the event will be at the Phantom Warrior Stadium on post, 17 May. It will kick off at 0800 and runs approximately to 1500,
Right.
3 o'clock.
A whole day of
Whole day.
activity.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that the takeaway from this is worth noting, and really it is to gain knowledge of safety, but it's not to hoard that knowledge. I mean, you take that knowledge, you put it in your rucksack, and yes, you utilize it when you need it. But also as leaders, we have to convey that down to our junior soldiers. And family members. We have to, it has to extend beyond the gates.
I agree.
Or the fence line of Fort Cavazos itself, and migrate, if you will, into the community. Because safety is safety no matter where you go. And safety, beneath it all, saves lives.
Well, Mike, Doug, we got you here. I think what you've alluded to it earlier. The command has said, hey, beyond the education piece, making sure people are safe, giving people the tools so they can do these risk assessments and other things that we normally do in tactical operations, but apply it to day-to-day things, because sometimes we have a false sense of security in the military that we're so well trained, these accidents
Absolutely.
can't happen, right? Because
Yeah.
we're so well trained.
They think they're this bubble
Yeah, this
around
protective-
Fort
yeah,
Cavazos,
that's
but
right.
there's not. We're still human, and have errors. Human error still applies to soldiers and military families.
Yep.
What are some of these trends? Because this transcends beyond, like you said, it's not only outside of your home, your vehicle, the day-to-day activities that we do, but what are some of the trends you're seeing within our military professions? If you're working in a motor pool, if you're on a tactical vehicle, if you're shooting on a range, or some. What are some of these trends? And can you guys talk to us a little bit about the process of what happens when we have an incident and how that impacts overall readiness? I think soldiers don't really grasp, aside from causing someone to be injured and potentially killed in an incident, there is a direct impact to readiness, because there's a lot of things that happen post-incident.
It absolutely is. I mean, I always say that, especially if we have a fatality, that affects the entire organization. You can't lose a crew member out of a M1 and it not affect the rest of the crew.
Right.
And of course, I'm saying the crew, but then of course it's going to affect the whole platoon. Therefore, where you were running and sprinting, you're now back to a walk or a crawl. There's counseling that goes on. And once this happens, you got to realize once you have an accident, especially a serious accident, aircraft crash or something like that, then there's a lot of mechanisms that go into place as far as the accident is concerned. Of course, my team gets activated to where we go out and we'll actually take control of the crash once the fire chief finishes it. Once he makes sure that all injured personnel are out of it, there's no chance of fire, explosion, or some type of spill, hazardous material spill, then we'll take control of that site. And our job, of course, is to, we're the NTSB of the Army, which means we actually conduct the investigations. We're the guys that get the black boxes, the 911 calls. We do all the interviews. We're authorized any data associated with that aircraft or vehicle. So we're very good at piecing it together and recreating the accident. But just understand that we're non-punitive. Our job is to figure out what happened, why it happened, and prevent it from happening again.
Right.
But I will say, as far as trends, one of the leading causes of most accidents is complacency. We just get complacency in our day-to-day routine, and we just miss steps. We understand that leaders, especially in the military, have a lot to do and very little time to do it. Our
Right.
mission dictates that. We understand that. And unfortunately, a lot of times when leaders are in a hurry, one of the first things to fall off is safety. And honestly, 99 times out of 100, you're going to get away with it. But at one time, it's going to catch you. And a lot of times when it does catch you, it's very serious. It ended up costing somebody their lives.
That's right. And it's amazing. We see in accident sequences, right, whether it's an aircraft incident or a vehicle crash, there's always a chain of events, right? There's always a string. And any one event moved out of place, maybe that accident or that incident doesn't occur. But it's always what they call a series of unfortunate events that always kind of align and create that accident sequence.
Yeah, they call it the domino effect or the Swiss cheese model.
Yeah.
But even that, I always try to convey to junior leaders that, look, you're part of that domino effect. Whenever you have the genesis of an accident, the beginning of an accident to the accident itself, we have these dominoes in between. If we kick out one of those dominoes, the accident don't happen. So how do you kick out those dominoes? Safety awareness days, counseling, all these things kick out dominoes. So really what we're doing is creating an alternate reality. And therefore the accident doesn't occur. That's why it's very important that we remain vested as leaders and focused on safety. If we maintain our focus and we maintain our leadership skill sets, then a lot of our accidents just won't occur.
So what would you say to people who are going to attend the upcoming Safety Day, how they can take that information and really implement it into their professional and their personal lives?
Right. So when you attend an event like this, it starts to become apparent. It's not unlike any other event. It has an educational value. What we do in safety, we talk to people, as Mike mentioned, advising them or telling them, here's a acceptable method. We use risk management in the risk management process. You want them to carry something from that they can remember. We get the visual in front of them and talk to them.
Something that resonates with them.
Something that resonates.
Okay.
And you can see that, and when people see, the young child car seats being inspected,
Absolutely.
they think about their family. They think about their brother, their sister, their mother. We want to put a personal badge on this for that to mean something to the soldier, the family member, whoever it may be. So they remember these things. We throw in risk management. It's a very easy process, but it's one least understood. When you understand the process and when you look at what's being put out there, it's a logical process that you go through, use it, off and on duty, but apply it to when you're doing your work, when you're soldiering, when you're doing these things, and carry it home with you.
Yes.
So we try to put it in a palpable, venue, if you will.
Right.
That's why we hit the informational booths, and then we have exhibits. So some people like visual, some people like looking at things and reading things.
Right.
There's a lot of, I don't know what these square things are. They things you can scan on your phone.
Oh, the QR codes.
That's not from my generation. My daughter knows what it is, but I don't. But we started to use a lot of these.
Right.
We have pamphlets that we hand out that have these QR codes on them, and they can go directly.
Right.
A good example is National Highway Transportation Safety. We have some products on that. We have the ASOMs, which I mentioned earlier. It's how we do safety here, per se, in the Garrison. But it's engaging these people. They see something, they go, what is this ASOMs about? Well, it's about people. It's about you. Okay, how's it about me? Well, we want to make sure, as my dad used to say, we want you to come to work and go home the same way you came to work. Okay.
Absolutely.
So things like that, you put a personal message to it or a personal slant to it. That we've had some success, and I think we're going to have more success.
I don't doubt it.
I
Not one bit.
I also think it's important to note that this venue itself is fun, it's entertaining, and it's really, really informative but impactful. Some of the displays, I'm a visual person.
Me too.
So if I see a display, like the electrical, but also another one, it was the seatbelt convincer. Because individuals will ride around without seatbelts all day long, but that seatbelt convincer will give you pause. It absolutely will, because when they don't strap, the baby in, the child in,
Yes.
not a real child, but you understand what I'm saying, a dummy
Yes.
child. And then, of course, then a dummy mannequin, when they don't strap it in and that thing starts spinning, and it doesn't spin fast.
Yeah, that
But you
simulation
will
hits
see-
hard. It really does.
they
It gives
will
you a
come-
new perspective on what could potentially happen.
You will
if
come
you
out
don't
of that
wear it.
vehicle. Absolutely come out of the vehicle. That will make you click it,
Yes.
because now you know. But don't get me wrong, a lot of times have this S on our chest, and we think it won't happen to us. It always happens to the other guy. Well, to me, you are the other guy.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see if you look at incident data as well. Sometimes the majority of incidents occur right when you're either leaving home or you're coming back to your house, and you're so close to getting home off the objective that you just get so confident, I'm just going to go down the street real quick. Well, that could cost you your life if you're not wearing your seatbelt.
Right.
Or I think our aviation community gets us the best, right? Because they fight off checklists, right? Jump masters, we fight off checklists. Identifying those tools that we can use to make sure we identify risk, because risk, like you guys said, exists far beyond the military. I think we do a great job in the military at teaching risk management, but sometimes it doesn't filter down to the lower levels. Hey, why am I doing this? You just got to do it. No, this is why we're doing this. We're doing a risk assessment because everything we do in the military is risky. It's
Absolutely.
from-
Honestly, everything we do in life is risky.
That's
As
right.
soon as you
It
get up out of
is.
that bed, you walk to that shower. How many people have fallen in their showers and injured themselves, if not killed themselves?
I have to admit that I have taken a slide or two. It's very awkward.
So that happens.
I'm able to
How many of
brace
us?
myself,
How
but
many of
many
us get on the
people aren't.
freeway, and when we're at the freeway, we're driving down the road, and then we're getting off on our exit, but we really didn't remember the ride from along the freeway. But you see it all the time, and we do it all the time. How many people are still out there texting and
Oh
driving?
gosh, I know too many. Too many.
A lot of people are guilty of that, and unfortunately, the part about it that's really concerning is that we get away with it all the time. So then it becomes a habit.
Right.
But there's going to be that one time it's not going to work for you.
And we don't want that catastrophe to be the wake up call. This is why
Absolutely.
we're doing this. So, like you said before, to be more proactive than reactive.
I'd also like to say that, for anyone that's listening, your death doesn't only affect you. It affects people all around you, even after you're gone.
Agreed.
Your family, your battle buddies, your
Peers.
units, all around you. So think about that before you jump on a motorcycle and you're not licensed to ride it. Think about it before you're speeding and racing down somewhere. Think about it before you're drinking and driving. Think about it before you're cutting down that tree that's touching a wire, things like that. All of it can be very devastating, because most of us, if you've ever been in an accident before, the sun is shining, the clouds are white and puffy, the birds are chirping, and next thing you know, you're in the dirt. That's how
Right.
fast it happens.
Well, I must say this has been very, very impactful. You guys, we appreciate you coming on and speaking to the impact of Safety Day. And we like for everybody, come on out. We love to see you there. Interactive displays, resources, education, food, and music. So you're going to have a good time. You bring the whole family. And, just to close it out, when you're thinking about safety, I'd say just thinking about kissing it. KISS. Keep it safe for soldiers.
Hey,
I think
now.
that's an easy one.
That's about to be on the poster.
Is that
Yes,
catchy?
It will be. Yeah.
Very good one.
I just thought of that right off the dome there. That's what I do. But anyway, thank you guys so much.
You're quite
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Flash floods in Central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
Hey guys, welcome back. And man, Janice, that was really awesome sitting down with our safety. I was talking these key events that are coming up, including the one that's near and dear to our hearts, right?
Safety Day. I mean, they really did bring up some valid points about how each of us has a responsibility to kind of, harness that knowledge and implement it in our professional and personal lives and pass it on.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of great things discussed there. And again, what I found most interesting is just hearing some of their background on what they've seen over the last few years and the trends, and also how much after the safety day was held, how much incidents dropped off in terms of awareness and everything.
Yeah, so that just lets you know that it's working. Whatever the efforts that they're putting forth and the work that they're doing is making an impact. And so you guys heard it here first, of course. Safety Day, Friday, May 17th. At the Phantom Warrior Stadium from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be lots of interactive things to do, resources, vendors, services, things for you to see, things for you to participate in, lots of great knowledge, and also food trucks.
Yeah, food trucks, lots of them this time. They're doubling down on the food trucks.
Yes, so if you guys, have the time, you should definitely attend.
We'll look forward to seeing you there. There's some other impressive things going around in Central Texas, right, Sean? What else we got going on?
Hey guys, this is Sean with the Public Affairs Office. Yeah, before anything, what is a Stetson?
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, Sean.
You are in the wrong time to be asking that question.
For anyone who does know what a Stetson is,
those fancy black hats the Cav wears.
it's just like a cowboy hat.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, for those of you who do know what a Stetson is and has one, the Clean Rodeo is coming up. So make sure you get your Wranglers, your boots, cowboy boots, and your Stetson ready. That is happening May 16th through the 18th. It's going to be the 77th annual Clean Rodeo. And over here at Central Texas. So admission for all veterans with a valid DOD, ID card, VA card, or DD-214, enter for free. So for those of you who do not have that, regular admission, adults are $15 in advance and $17 at the gate. For your children are $10 in advance and $12 at the gate. And children under 6, they don't get, no, I'm just kidding. Children under 6 enter for free. So the pre-show for that begins at 7:15 p.m. with the main rodeo beginning at 8 p.m. nightly. And again, that is May 16th through the 18th. Also, Thursday is a military appreciation night where you can come and see the 1st Cavalry Division Horse Detachment. Friday is Colleen Employee Night, where Colleen employees enter free with their respective ID cards. And Saturday is Educators Night, where KISD, CTC, and Texas A&M Central Texas educators enter for free with their respective ID cards. So, yeah, make sure you, get your information ahead of time. Visit the Rodeo Colleen Facebook page and see how you can also enter for free when you bring in canned goods to a donation site around Central Texas or upon entry to the event.
Yeah, that's some pretty exciting stuff. I'm pretty shocked though that you never heard of what a Stetson is.
Yeah.
Sean, you act like you don't have any Western gear.
I have jeans.
Oh,
Just
my
jeans.
Oh man, you gotta
Who
bump up your game.
told you that's Western gear?
They better be Wranglers.
Yeah, they're not Wranglers.
I have one pair of Wrangler.
Oh.
We're gonna have to.
I think they're
help you out,
Wranglers.
Sean.
Yeah.
We're gonna Texify you.
Yeah, Sean, I am still impressed that you consider your only
I
piece
don't
of
know how to
Western.
feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it,
You know,
Sean.
you worked in our office. You've been together for a while. You know what? I think it was the Dinfos trip. You know, he went over the East Coast. He forgot where he worked.
And reset the brain.
Yeah.
Are you getting back into the swing of things? Okay, Sean.
Yeah, everything is same, more humid than I'd like, but same part of the course. Yeah, no, I grew up in South Dakota. I
Is this
wore
why you're
jeans.
wearing
I
Doc?
never.
Just for the record, y'all know you guys can't see because we haven't transitioned to a video podcast. But I got boots on right now, and Sean's wearing Doc Martens. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's my cowboy gear.
Okay, I may not have a Stetson, but I have plenty of hats that could pass, and I do have cowboy boots at least.
See, so you gotta step your game up, Sean. But, enough beating up on Sean, guys. What else we got going on around? Let's see. Well, there is one that's near and dear to my heart. It's going to be the Temple Airfest. Experience the thrill at Central Texas Airfest in Temple starting Friday, May 17 and running through May 19th. The event will be held at Drown Miller Central Texas Regional Airport located in the great city of Temple. Friday's events will run from 6 to 10 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, the run of show will occur from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Join other aviation enthusiasts, veteran service organizations, and multiple nonprofits for an action-packed weekend featuring aerial feats by industry experts. From vintage classics to cutting-edge aircraft, enjoy a diverse display and family-friendly atmosphere. There will also be a multiple airborne operations conducted during the event from a World War II vintage C-47.
Wow.
I will be making a few jumps. I mean,
I don't know.
remember, Janice, we talked about it. I told
We
you I jumped out of
did. That
planes.
sounds pretty interesting. I've only jumped out of a plane once, but that was enough.
Yeah, it's a rush. It's a rush. But yeah, the All Airborne Battalion will be jumping a few times out of C-47 Southern Cross, located out of Dallas Meacham Airport. It's going to be a great time. The excitement begins on Friday, y'all, with a live concert and enchanting drone show.
Oh, music.
That's right, and music.
That just makes it a party.
And there's an ongoing trend here, Janice. There is food trucks.
Yes.
Yet again. A kid zone and even airplane static
You get me
displays.
every time with food. Just lead with food. I'll
Yeah,
be there.
That's right. That's going to be a great time. But there's also some other great events coming up. What have you on the docket there, Eric?
What's going on, guys? This is Eric with your Garrison Public Affairs Office here at the Great Place. And seeing that it is National Military Appreciation Month, and we also observe Memorial Day here in just a couple short weeks, another really big, powerful event coming to the Great Place is the annual Memorial event held at Sadowski Field.
Yay!
The event is held from the 23rd through the 29th, where volunteers honor fallen service members with a single boot representing a fallen service member. There are often several thousand boots placed in front of the 3rd Armored Corps headquarters to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes.
And if you would like to volunteer for this event, please reach out to Mr. James Elzey, Fallen and Wounded Branch Manager at 254-418-3040. I'll tell you what, guys, that boot event every year is something I look forward to.
Yeah.
It's good for me. I get all emotional maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
that visual with all those boots, it does get you emotional.
Yeah,
it really does.
A little bit. A lot of familiar faces, old friends that I don't get to see again, but I get them every year, and I make sure I'm out there. So I hope
That's
to
the
see a lot of
sad
you guys
part.
out there with me.
Sad part about being in the military, we make these connections and these bonds, and sometimes we lose them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and I think it's sometimes a little better to do that instead of visit a cemetery. Sometimes a cemetery is too overwhelming for folks, and sometimes if your loved one was not buried in a cemetery, it's those boots that give you that visual reminder, but also lets you focus more on their service, not the fact that they were lost. It gives more of the service connection to it, so it's a little bit easier, but it does really hit you in the gut when you see just how many boots are out there, and often it's just one conflict, right? It's generally just post 9/11 that is honored out there, but we've seen some other conflicts also honored. But again, I'm agree with you right there, Eric. it's an emotional event for all of us, even
Yeah.
if you're not in the military or associated with the military. Just seeing that display is quite impressive.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just really finding it hard to believe that May is pretty much halfway over. Like, I feel like it was just the beginning of the year, like 5 minutes ago.
Right? I know.
Like,
and
that's crazy to me.
pretty
And then
soon-
we've got so many things, great things going on in May. We have great things going on all the time at the great place. I mean, how could we not? But May is like jam-packed.
It is. It is all the way to the end. It's going to get really, really busy. And but with that, what do you guys got planned this week other than the awesome events we have coming up, like Safety Day, the Clean Rodeo, the Drow Miller Air Show? Anything else fun and exciting this weekend?
So for me, I'm a little crazy, and I've got a few of my coworkers here, including you there, Darren. We're a little wild, and we're getting ready for the Baton Death March next year, so I'm going to be training up for that.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I definitely have to hear a little bit about that. Now, what does that entail?
So the Baton Death March, it takes place at White Sands. It's White Sands,
Yeah, New Mexico.
New
yeah.
Mexico. And it's a commemoration from World War II,
Okay.
where Japanese soldiers had American POWs march from one camp on their death march all the way to their end camp. for,
Oh, okay. So it symbolizes that event.
Right. It's
Okay.
it's basically commemorating, the guys that made that walk, those who were lost during that walk, and the guys that lived through it, and to tell the tale. So we're going to
Awesome.
get out there and sweat a little bit in their memory.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in fact I've had friends that participated before, and they've actually had survivors walk a leg of it again. Obviously, they didn't do the full, but I mean they lived through the real event. But they did walk and lead the march out, and then at the end of it, at the end finish line, they were present.
Now, how long is it again?
It's a little over 26 miles.
Yeah,
Wait, that's a marathon, isn't it?
yeah, and that's now you're adding most. We add packs, so we wear rucks. They carry flags.
Oh, so you basically doing 2 marathons. Oh, wow.
But it's a very powerful event. Service academies often join. Police departments, first responders.
That's
not
pretty
just
cool.
military. Yeah, it's a great event.
It's a way to, honor the legacy of those guys and kind of just stay connected to that military
Right.
community.
Sounds awesome.
Maybe Sean will join us.
Don't wear your Stetson or your Wranglers.
Yeah. This is definitely not a Wrangler event or cowboy boots. Yeah, I definitely wear the Nike boots, the light ones.
Did anybody do anything special for their mother for Mother's Day?
Yeah, Mother's Day was this last Sunday, yesterday.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just delivered flowers. I did
Okay.
she's all the way in California. I just did the
Right.
classic flower delivery and called her. That's about it.
Right. Well, I went and treated myself, but I'm going to keep it a secret because I'm actually going to write about it.
Oh man,
Nice.
just dangling the carrot. You see?
What about you,
Newsflash,
Sean?
everybody!
Did you
It's
do
coming
anything
up.
for your mom?
Yeah, just card and call.
Okay.
Card and call.
Hey,
that
look,
kind of
hey,
thing.
Carter to call. My mom is in heaven, so she's in my heart. I carry her everywhere. I just can't send her flowers.
No, I hear you there, Janice.
What about you, Eric? Did you?
So my stepmom, she gets a phone call every year, send her flowers every year.
Okay.
My mom is no longer with us. I'm kind of
Oh, I'm
old, so
sorry.
that's all right. But take care of my stepmom and take care of my wife at home. Took her out to a nice dinner this weekend over
That's-
at Giovanni's in Coppers Cove.
That's what it's about. Oh, big spender. I love Giovanni's. That food is amazing. The bread. Oh my gosh, it's so hard not to eat it when they put it on the table. So I just basically ask them, please don't put the bread. Please don't bring the
absolutely
I mean, it's
bread.
required. I mean, the Italian food is
I
mostly
know.
carbohydrates.
It's a really,
so-
really good spot. I'm just useless for about the rest of the night afterward.
Oh,
'cause I didn't
absolutely.
sleep that off.
You have to. Yeah, you have to have a nap. Absolutely.
Well, y'all, you heard it here. We not only did we discuss a lot of great things about safety and Safety Day, we got some great events coming across. A very busy month, as Janice has said, for the month of May. And you may be able to even catch us out at the Safety Day event at Phantom Warrior Stadium, as well as even come and see some of us in our off time jumping out of planes at the Temple Air Fest. So come on out, and also be sure to reach out to us and give us some podcast ideas. 'cause we need
Absolutely.
your
We'd
feedback.
love to hear any ideas you have. If you want to come and sit down with us, we welcome you.
Fort Cavazos PAO@gmail.com. Reach out to us. And
Yep.
as always, y'all, be safe, and thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Garrison, Fort Cavazos, and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazos@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, be sure to leave us a review